How's it going, guys? Welcome to today's video. As regular viewers will know, the hay has been baled and stacked here for a little while now, and I really need to get out there and work that ground up. The problem has been that for some reason in May it's been raining like non-stop and that ground was super muddy, but I think we finally reached a point where the ground is dry enough that I can drop a chisel in it and get going on the groundwork. That's what we're doing today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. So the chisel was parked out here with the goats, and now it's hooked up to the truck. Probably the hardest part of this whole operation is getting this chisel through this gate over here, because as I recall, I've only got about 2 or 3 inches on either side, so hopefully I can do it. Well, I do not remember having to do that, but shoot, I don't know. I got it in here and I was about 1 inch or 2 shy getting it out, but hey, we got it out, so let's go to the field. Good morning, guys. Sorry I can't look at the camera because that light blinds me, but it's been a couple days since we dropped the chisel at the field, and I'm finally going to be able to get a tractor hooked up to it to run it today. So obviously it's dark outside right now, so after I get the tractor hooked up and get running a little bit and the sun comes up, then I'll check in with you guys then and kind of show you what I'm doing. Well, I've been at this for about 5 hours now, and I think I'm pretty well over halfway done. We're moving right along good, but over here in the corner of the field, there's a nice shade tree, so I thought I'd stop for a minute and get out of the sun. I'd need to put some kind of a canopy or something on that tractor, because this whole sitting out in the sun all day, this isn't the way to do it. In fact, Chris Denny at his channel's called Denny's Country Life has a tractor that's almost identical to the one that I'm running, and he's got a nice canopy on that with LED light bar and stuff, so I might have to copy something like that. Just anything to get the sun off of me. All right, so let's take a closer look at the ground here and kind of get a better feel for what we're actually doing to it. I don't know, yeah, you should be able to see that. My foot's kind of in it now, but we're making these streaks here with the chisel, and when we go and hit the field like on a different direction, that'll break those up and create a good worked depth in this field. I like to do the initial ground break with the chisel just because I feel like it digs down a little bit better than my disc. You can definitely do your first pass with a disc, but I always just thought, you know, the chisel was better at getting down low, and then the disc is better at coming back and chopping up all the clods that you make with the chisel, if that makes sense. when I get the disc out here, I'll definitely film some of that. And for you guys that aren't really familiar with how tillage work is done or how it works, then it should kind of bring it full circle and make a little bit more sense to you. So the goal here is just to break the ground and incorporate all this straw or stubble, I should say, that's left over from cutting and baling the field. You can see in some spots the stubble is actually quite long still. This is actually probably where the hay fell over and was laying down and the swather couldn't cut it. But actually, when I cut the field, I purposely leave the stubble long like that, and the idea behind that is that it's sort of like holds the windrow up off the ground, and it allows air to circulate underneath and help the hay cure. So that's great for baling the hay, which, you know, let's not forget, that's that's the goal. But it is not so great for your spring groundwork. Like look at this here. This is pretty, and there's a lot of stubble there. Now, as we look across the field, a lot of you are probably wondering, you know, why I don't just bring some cows out here to eat this this regrowth or volunteer growth that's coming back out here. But there's actually a pretty good reason for that. For one, the regrowth is actually very sparse. When you look across the field, you know, the field looks green, but when you actually walk out there, you know, you got like a little clump of grass here, you know, like a little clump of grass for every square, shall we say, square yard or so. There's really not as much as it looks like, but that's not the main reason why I don't do it. The main reason is that first cutting ryegrass, it must have something to do with the temperature, but first cutting is very sweet and animals like to eat it. Guys that have tried to cut it a second time, you can't hardly force the animals to eat it. For some reason, on the second cutting, it's very bitter. So I can't see why that would be any different while it's growing in the ground. So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm not just grazing it, that's why. I would love to graze it, honestly, if it would work, but I just don't think it will. Okay, I know there are some of you that are going to have questions about the tractor and about the chisel and, you know, what we're using out here. So the tractor is, I'm not going to get too close to it because I don't know how much of the engine noise is going to be picked up by the microphone. But the tractor is a New Holland TN95A. The A stands for agriculture. I guess there's a couple of different models of a TN95. But that is 90 engine horse, so we'll figure about 80 PTO. So it's not the hugest tractor in the world for sure. I think this is a Kraus chisel. It's either Kraus or Kuhn. Honestly, I want to say that's the same company now, because when I was trying to find parts for it, I remember going through this. But this is, I've got it narrowed down to 14 feet. Originally when I got it, it was 16 feet, but I didn't have anything that could pull it when it was that wide. So I took off the outside shanks and made it a 14 footer, and now my tractor can pull it. But I will tell you, this is every bit of what this tractor can handle. In fact, we're going down about 6 inches. If I wanted to go 6.5 inches, I don't think the tractor would do it. I mean, we are right on the edge of what this thing can do. And you can tell when you're driving it just by how hard it starts grunting when you put that chisel in the ground. But you can also tell by how much diesel it goes through, because like I said, we've been out here 5 hours and I need to go fill up. Like, I'm getting dangerously low. So it is really going through the fuel, but it's a wide chisel and it covers, I'm gonna have to figure out acres per hour. It's not bad. I mean, it's small equipment, so you can't expect much, but for what it is, I think it does a good job. Eight hours later, and we are finally done out here. The next step will be getting the disc and the roller over here after this field can set for a couple days, and then hopefully we'll be able to chop up a bunch of these clods and get this ground looking really nice. Thanks for hanging out in the field with me today, guys. I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.